The image of the city was first introduced by Kevin Lynch in 1960 and referred to the ways in which urban space is perceived by their users, and how these acts are based on mental maps, whose elements can be put into well-defined categories: paths, nodes, edges, districts, and landmarks. Such categories, needed to drive those who live and move into the city, hold a physical and material component, strictly related to the spatiality of the city. The physical form of the city, therefore, could evoke images in citizens and city users, defined as imageability, allowing the formation of security and intensity in the relations among the people and the city itself. Lynch's work led researchers and scholars to reflect and debate on these categories and explore their validity and sustainability through time. The digital revolution, particularly information and communication technologies, affected urban environments, contributed to new suggestions and opportunities for a change in the images of the city and on the ways to evaluate and interpret it. That also opened a wide set of applications of methods for analyzing the image of the city, as well as identifying its constituting elements. Talking about the smart city, an often underestimated question could be, what is the image of the city, and how can we represent it? Research on the images of the smart city gave a set of results where a real, tangible city cannot be seen. The search provides, as results, images of all kinds. There is generally a city, made of tall skyscrapers and wide road avenues, with several icons, symbols, and signs added, as well as Wi-Fi symbols, lines connecting dots to recall wires, connections between different digital nodes on communication networks. There is not a way to see and properly represent it. A building in a street can be visualized, walked, touched, and crossed, which is impossible for the smartness of a building or of a road. The ideal city of the Renaissance was visible, although idealized, and could be imagined, represented, planned, partly built, and lived in. The smart city today is immaterial. It recalls the information and communication technologies that are generally very small or hidden and visible only in their more technical aspects, such as the mobile phone and Wi-Fi network receivers, routers, or antennas, and the smart devices. According to various observers, the smart city is essentially the last utopia of the 21st century. It is evident that the smart city is not a well-defined concept, as it can be associated with a large number of different interpretations, ideas, visions, and projects. The smart city is difficult to interpret for a political decision-maker. Furthermore, the main technological aspects proposed by smart city hardware shift the attention towards intangible components of the city characterized by rapid obsolescence. The smart city is the outcome of an evolution of the thought and reasoning of the city with reference to sustainability, civic participation, and the rapid evolution of technology. The smart city should be a city that tackles the needs of its citizens and city users, without focusing on technological skills or devices. The term therefore evolved in time from more purely digital aspects to wider ones. This is the result of the new economy's short-term memory and separation from the administrative processes, focused, instead, on the uses and applications. The new economy has been using, from the beginning, new technologies, but not always resulting from real needs and potentials. This accelerates the aging of new technologies, which already present such character. Furthermore, the new economy accelerated the process of internationalization of economic systems up to configuring the well-known globalization, reducing distances and times of the production, economic, and social processes. In such a framework, the organization of the city are reorganized in the direction of new long and short-range networks and hierarchies of nodes, towards the extreme configuration of the city, state completion. Furthermore, the knowledge and availability of information represent the raw materials from which the urban and its territorial renewals are formed. It helps solve complex public problems, improves governance, and empowers citizens. In this synthetic framework, the goal is conceptual understanding through a comparative synthesis of the smart city and its image through the main typologies and geographical contexts to evaluate future trends. What is the situation of smart cities in Italy? What are the cities we can define as smart? Scholars put the attention on the city of the representation, image, critical aspects raised by the smart city itself and the planning issues. With the historical conformation of the Italian urban texture, it is difficult to think of dream cities born from the blueprint project, and the infrastructural heritage of the built environment and spaces of the existing cities need to be considered. Rather, it is easier to encounter a brownfield context, or a mixed blueprint brownfield context from a smart perspective, or to intervene from scratch in new neighborhoods, born from the project or from the conversion of areas previously intended for different functions. Such projects and initiatives often suffer from a very strong influence of the private component at the level of investments, and therefore of orientation in the political, urban planning choices of the city towards technological solutions. Furthermore, public-private partnerships linked to smart cities are often closely linked to technological components, and poorly integrated with urban policies. From the point of view of the denomination, there are many cities that refer to the Smart City label within their organization, and with reference to the projects explicitly funded on this item. Furthermore, different rankings attribute different weights to different indicators. Among the rankings, the ANCI Urban Agenda portal provided updated information on smart cities and related projects in Italian cities. In 2021, for the iCity rank of Forum PA, Florence was confirmed as the most digital capital of Italy for the second consecutive year, followed by Milan and Bologna, with Roma capital city, Modena, Bergamo, Turin, Trento, Cagliari, and Parma to close the top 10. Other rankings, such as that of Ernst & Young, place Trento at the top of the smart cities, and the cities of Turin, Bologna, Mantua, Milan, and Bolzano according to the related Smart City Index. Without going into the details of the different rankings, we can identify some elements that recur and unite these cities. Belonging to a metropolitan dimension or, usually, an average urban dimension and a location in the north or center-north, part of the old or better, new industrial triangle. In urban contexts, economic development seems to be combined with the technological sustainability demands of the smart city and in the various aspects of the 6 dimensions of smartness. In particular, the metropolitan dimensions with administrative and functional can allow governance and development actions of new solutions in real markets linked to innovative aspects. The urban reconversion of city life type areas finds an adequate scope of application. The health emergency that emerged with COVID-19 has highlighted how the smart city model refers to constant growth scenarios. The shock, or rather the stop, imposed by the international health emergency exposed urban vulnerability in many of its primary services, health, education, and mobility. There has been a push forward towards safe, efficient, sustainable city models, but it is still unclear whether they are citizen-friendly. In particular, starting from the 6 smart dimensions of the smart city, the economy is, increasingly, centered on technological innovation in order to restart. In addition, the administration pushes to improve remote and digital services, more intelligent and sustainable mobility, the environment and sustainable development. In this framework, the material part of the city intersects that of the consolidated historical city and the suburbs, and that of the regulatory instruments, referring to a pastime, and where there is no flexibility necessary for the post-pandemic city. For example, how should a city respond to the conflicting objectives of regulating the use of scooters and services such as Uber and Lyft? Hence, there is a frantic search for real-time data to encourage flexibility and mobility emerging in a new regulatory framework between user needs and safety, not just health. Many innovative solutions bring unknown advantages and risks. Writing legislative rules is already a task full of pitfalls. Without the infrastructures, various activities, such as online shopping and call conferences, could not have been established. This responds to the need for flexibility of work, no longer distinct as an activity limited in time and space. The techno-digital revolution has led to a wide availability of devices, data connections, and the opportunity to connect them together, developing applications with high added value. In fact, with the increase in life expectancy, especially in Italian metropolitan cities, there has not been an equally increasing individual and collective quality of life. Will the new technology save the cities of the future? Also, it is worth mentioning 5G and artificial intelligence founded by big data. In this sense, big data emerges as a great contribution towards sustainability. They are necessary, but not sufficient for the cities of the future, which are now designed as large hyper-connected ecosystems, equipped with sensors and other devices capable of collecting and processing large amounts of data.